So far, all our lessons have focused on adding various constraints. In this lesson, we will look at an entity that, while reducing the number of constraints needed, helps us quickly and easily design user interfaces. This entity is the stack view. As the name suggests, a stack view helps us stack views both horizontally and vertically. Our lesson will first demonstrate a single vertical stack view to lay out two labels and an image view, something like this. We will then add a text field and a search button to our layout like this, and thus demonstrate a horizontal stack view. And by the way, we certainly will use constraints, but not as many as you would expect. Alright, so let's create a new Xcode project once again, a single view application. Let's call it stack view. The language will be Swift, the device the iPhone. Let's create it. And now we go to the main storyboard, highlight this view controller and go to the file inspector and disable size classes. And now let's first hide the navigation window and drag and drop some items onto the canvas. So we'll start with a label and then we'll drop an image view. And we want two labels out here, so let's create a duplicate label and push it out here. Great. And now I'm going to add an image to this image view, and let's add the very regal Bengal tiger. Now at this stage, as you can see, I could add constraints to these entities using the pin, but I'm not going to do that. So we'll highlight all three entities out here and go to this menu item, which is the stack, and click on it. So as you can see, all three entities have got bundled under this vertical stack. So let's change this alignment to fill. So the alignment and distribution is fill, and let's go to this label and center the text, and similarly for this other label out here. So interestingly, we do not need to add any constraints to these three entities, but we'll add some constraints to the stack. So I'm going to pin the stack to the stack view to all four corners of the super view. So I'll use the standard constraint here for both the top and bottom, and we'll use 0 for the margins on either side, and add these four constraints. So you can immediately see that we've got a lot of orange on the screen out here. And also you can see that the system really doesn't know how to stretch these three entities. And why is that? And that has to do with the constraint priorities, as you might have gathered. So we are dealing with the vertical priorities. So it's 251 and 750 for the label, 251 and 750 for the image view, and similarly 251, 750. So the system really doesn't know how to handle it. So let's reduce the vertical hugging priority for our image view, which allows it to stretch, and similarly reduce the resistance priority, which allows it to compress if needed. And as you can see, the red has turned to orange, and we can fix these misplaced views by clicking this button here. Great. So now let's go back to the document editor and add values to our label. So let's go here to the attribute inspector and change this to Animal Planet, and make this bold out here, and also increase the size, let's say make it 20. Okay, and let's do the same for the other label. So let's go here and change it to the Royal Bengal Tiger. Okay, so now let's preview things for the iPhone 6. So this is how things look in the portrait mode. And this is our landscape mode. So not bad. We fixed things quite quickly, and as you can see, we did not add many constraints. So as you can see, our main stack view was a vertical stack view. So now we're going to add a horizontal one, and I'm going to pick up a horizontal stack view from the object library. So here's one. So let's drag and drop it out here beneath the Royal Bengal Tiger label. And within the stack view, we are going to add a few entities. So we'll start with a text field. So let's drag it within the horizontal stack view. Now careful, is it within it? No, it doesn't look like. So let me just remove this and try again. And this is important, we have to drag it within the horizontal stack view. This indentation looks better. Great. And now let's also add a button. So here's my button. Also within the horizontal stack view. So I'm going to now change the text of the button, in fact remove its default text and add an image which I've placed previously. So at this point, as you can see, we have some there's a bit of contention for space. So I could at this point change the priorities of these entities, but let's not do that. Let's do something different. Let us add a constraint to the button. So what we'll do is we will change the width of the button to 32, so that's one constraint, and also set an aspect ratio of 1:1. So as you can see out here, my button has two constraints. So now let's quickly do a preview for the iPhone 6, and this is how things look in the portrait mode. And I'm not very happy with the spacing between the entities, and similarly this is what it looks in the horizontal mode. So let's see if we can add some spacing both in the vertical as well as the horizontal front. So let's go to the vertical stack view first, go to the attribute inspector, and there's a spacing field out here. Let's change that to 10 and do the same for the horizontal stack view and change the spacing to 10. And let's preview this quickly. Okay, so this looks a bit better. Yes. So we have spacing both on the vertical and horizontal front. So guys, I hope this video made sense. As you can see, stack views allow us to create layouts quite quickly, simple layouts quite quickly. And I hope you use this more in your layouts.